Good afternoon, Cougar fans, and welcome to Concordia Stadium for today's conference matchup between the visiting Scarlet Hawks of Illinois Institute of Technology and the Cougars of Concordia University, Chicago. I'm Parker Kelly, coming to you live from the Cougar Sports Network. We just got through announcing the starting lineups. I will give you a quick rundown just in case you missed it. First, for the Scarlet Hawks, in goal, number 0, Marko Brajkovic. Midfielder number 2, Alex Malawat. Number 6, a forward, Devin Zachary. Number 8, a sophomore midfielder, Adam Lazarakowicz. Number 9, a junior forward, Mateo Sanchez. Number 10, a senior midfielder, Anthony Piotti. Number 11, a sophomore midfielder, Christian Garcia. Number 15, a senior midfielder, Michael Kachuka. And number 17, a freshman midfielder, Tomas Rebelato. Number 22, a freshman defender from Homer Glen, Illinois, Zach Skiba. And number 27, a senior defensiveman, Matthew Warham. The Scarlet Hawks are coached in his 10th season by Mark Colwell. And now for the Cougars, in goal, the sophomore from Pingree Grove, Illinois, number 34, Kyle Schultz. Number 2, a junior, Julian Yanez. Number 3, a defensiveman from El Monte, California, Andrew Lechuga. Number 7, a defender, Garrett Pointer. Number 12, Giovanni Velasquez. Number 14, Evan Perez. Number 15, Joseph Smariglio. Number 22, Elias de Santiago. Number 24, Brandon Arias. Number 30, Alexander Lekowitz. And playing in the field is number 20, Joseph Perez, as we are underway here in River Forest. It's been kind of a gloomy day so far in the area. The sun trying to poke its way through the clouds. A little bit of a cooler day. The Scarlet Hawks are going to take over on offense. Cougars trying to play tough defense. Their last game at Wisconsin Lutheran only allowed 2 goals. Pretty solid defensive day for the team. However, weren't able to capitalize on their chances, their shots on goal. That's something they're looking to capitalize more on today. Offense has been hard to come by here as conference play is in full swing for both teams. As the ball travels out of bounds, believe possession will stay with the Cougars. As we'll get a corner kick for the Maroon and Gold. First corner kick we have seen this afternoon. Opportunity for the Cougars as whistles blow and possession will go right back to the Scarlet Hawks. A good defensive stand by IIT, as they're known around the conference. We'll get a goal kick from Marko Brajkovic. He boots that one deep. Cougars have kind of struggled with defense in the midfield. That ball, I believe, is deflected off of the Cougars and out of bounds goes towards the Scarlet Hawk bench. So possession will remain with IIT. as now Malawat working with Lekowitz, draped all over him. Little back and forth action. Finally, Brakovic will halt play, gets it back out to his teammate. Scarlet Hawks trying to capitalize offensively. Nice defense right there from the Cougars. Now Yanez gets it to Pointer in the midfield. Now Giovanni Velasquez trying to get the ball right back from the Scarlet Hawks. Now for the first time today, Kyle Schultz will touch the ball. He gets it to Lekowitz. Now Smariglio. Get a throw in right here from number 15 in all white. Now throw in from Lechuga. He's going to kick it back to Elias de Santiago, who he missed the Aurora game last week, and that was a impactful loss for the Cougars. They're happy to have him back in the starting lineup as he proves to be one of the more talented players on this team. And now Yanez gets it to Pointer. Pointer, that shot attempt deflected off the Scarlet Hawks. So another defensive stand from IIT. Pointer coming into today has attempted 29 shots, which ranks second in the NAC. He's the leading shot taker for this Cougars team, kind of the do-it-all man on the offensive end. Now IIT trying to make something happen. They've been in the midfield quite a bit as Yanez trips up Mateo Sanchez. Sanchez still on the ground. Actually, I believe that was Velasquez who tripped him up. So Sanchez back on his feet, a good sign for the Scarlet Hawks. And now that ball will travel out of bounds. Last touched by IIT, so possession will go right back to CUC. Throw in from Lechuga. Nice header right there from Yanez. Pointer tries to get it, but Velasquez is able to get to it first, who is trying to find Yanez racing down the near side. He's able to corral it. Yanez will take a fall. He got entangled with, I believe that was Mutiziak for Scarlet Hawks. Now a free kick right here from IIT. IIT working with it in the mid-third. He tries to find Malawat, and he does, and that ball kicks straight up into the air. And way out of bounds. But possession will remain with the Scarlet Hawks as it was last touched by a Cougar. So now, corner kick from Mateo Sanchez, the junior out of Weston, Florida. An opportunity for the Scarlet Hawks. Yanez with excellent defense. Cougars get a much-needed stop. And now Pointer, he tries to find Arias. Possession going to go right back to IIT. Now the Scarlet Hawks trying to march right down the pitch. Big point of emphasis for the Cougars will be at back line, not allowing IIT to get much of anything going on the offensive end. Lechuga trying to play tough defense. He knocks over Sanchez. Sanchez kind of getting pushed around quite a bit here in the early going of the opening half. And now a goal kick from Schultz. If you're a Cougar soccer fan, you've heard Schultz's name mentioned a lot over the course of the past week. Last Wednesday played the entire second half versus Aurora, and then last Saturday got his first start of the season at Wisconsin Lutheran College, played all 90 minutes. And other goalie on this Cougar team, Joseph Perez, actually played in the field. So Coach Brad Callahan kind of trying a different lineup. They feel Perez would be best in the field at this point in the season. So Perez, a great utility player for the Cougars, as that shot just dribbles right past the goal on that right side. We're still scoreless here in River Forest. Another goal kick right here from Schultz. Schultz definitely got a leg on him as he boots that one. Now Smariglio tries to get it to Lekowitz, who finds Pointer. Pointer has it taken away from him as he knocks over a Scarlet Hawk. I believe that was Anthony Peyote. So IIT will go back on offense. We see that, we know that Pointer, one of the better players on offense for this Cougar team. He's going to be a focal point of that Scarlet Hawk defense that we see right there as he was getting double teamed. That kick from the Scarlet Hawks way over the net. Believe it actually hit the football goalpost. So now we're going to get another corner kick from the Scarlet Hawks. This will be their second corner kick of the day. So an opportunity for IIT. Is that shot saved by Schultz? Now the Cougars racing with it. That's Velasquez. Velasquez had a full head of steam. Now Lechuga gets it to Smariglio. Smariglio is able to find Pointer. Crowd getting a little antsy as they thought Smariglio might have taken a shot right there. He decided not to, and now IIT goes right back on offense. Kind of an interesting sequence of events, as it looks like Smariglio might have had an open lane if he wanted to take the shot for the Cougars. Schultz comes out of goal. He's able to prevent a Scarlet Hawk shot attempt. Nice diving play right there from the sophomore. So now another goal kick from Schultz. So he approaches the ball, sends it to the midfield. And now IIT wins that battle in the midfield. We've seen a couple players hit the pitch so far as these two teams desperately want the win here. And we've talked about on previous broadcasts how important conference wins are. You know, it's one thing to win a non-conference game, but it is a completely different thing when it comes down to NAC play. The stakes are a lot higher. Now Smeriglio has the ball on the near side. That one's deflected off the IIT defender. I believe that was Malawat. And now IIT has it taken away by the Cougars. We see Perez on the other side. He's wearing number 20 today. And now Smeriglio, seen this, he's had the ball on the near side quite a bit so far here in the first half. Now Lechuga will send it back to De Santiago. Kick it on right back to Smeriglio. Now Rebelato. Pass intercepted by De Santiago. Right back to Yanez. Now Perez kicks it to Velazquez. They're just going to send it right back to Schultz, who's standing at the 10-yard line. Now Pointer working with it in the midfield, has a head of steam. Pointer tries to cross up a defender. Good defense right there from the Scarlet Hawks. I believe that was Peyote. Mentioned Pointer going to be a major point of emphasis today. They know how dangerous he is with ball and foot. That pass going to go out of bounds. Now we'll get a throw in right here from Velazquez. An opportunity right here for the Cougars. Nice clear out right there from IIT. Both teams playing solid defense here early. And that ball kicks straight up into the air. The closest Cougar in the vicinity is Pointer. He tried to get a header right there, but it was taken away from Brajkovic right before Pointer was able to get his head on the ball. Brajkovic sends that one straight up. Little history lesson between these two teams. The Cougars are 3-3 all-time versus IIT. And the Cougars have won their last 3 games versus the Scarlet Hawks. They're looking to continue that streak today. Their last matchup came a little under a year ago, October 19th, 2022, and the Cougars won that match 2-1. Cougars have a home record of 2-1 versus IIT, so Cougars have definitely been rolling over the Scarlet Hawks in recent years. Cougars also looking to get their first conference win of the season, as well as their first win of the season in general. Would come at a much-needed time as conference play is ramping up and in full swing. Now Smeriglio with the header. Whistles blow by the on-field officials, but play will not stop, and Cougars will go back on offense. Pointer having a hard time. He looks like he's wanting to get a shot off, but IIT has two defenders on him at seems like every point he touches the ball. And now IIT working with it in the middle third. Tripped up by Perez. And now Yanez finds Smeriglio. Smeriglio gets it to Pointer. And now Yanez with the attempt. Goes on, misses off the upper right portion of the goal. Now we'll get a goal kick from Brajkovic. Right now, Scarlet Hawks coming in with a record of 2-4-5. Their last game, they took on Grinnell University, which they tied that one 1-1. Right now, the Scarlet Hawks, I believe they're sitting at 9th in the NAC. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Cougars 0-8 on the season and sitting at dead last in the conference. Win right here would be a huge shift in momentum for this Cougars team. This Cougars team has really laid it all out on the field this season. Definitely trying to get that conference win, and it would be a big one. Now IIT with an opportunity. That ball travels onto the track, so that means the Cougars will retake possession, and a goal kick from Schultz once again. So looks like we're going to get a couple of substitutions on the Scarlet Hawk side of things. Into the game comes number 3, Logan Garcia, as well as number 16, Telmo Lazundia. So first pair of substitutions for the Scarlet Hawks. And a factor to watch out for in today's game, which we've also talked about in a couple other broadcasts. Cougars do not have a lot of depth on their bench as compared to the depth that the Scarlet Hawks have. That may be a factor just to keep an eye out for as this game progresses, and it's been kind of a point of hindrance for the Cougars at this point in the season. Now Pointer racing down the field. That ball is kicked out of bounds. off of the foot of Matthew Wareham for the Scarlet Hawks. And Schultz come out of goal and get the stop. So he waits for his team to get organized before he boots that one. Now the header by Lekowitz. Pointer tried to get to it, and looks like if he was able to, he would have had a one-on-one opportunity potentially. So now the throw in from Lechuga. Tries to get it to Arias. Nice defense by the Scarlet Hawks. Velazquez will send it back to Evan Perez. And now the stop by Brajkovic. Brajkovic also has a leg on him as that ball got a lot of hang time before it hit the pitch. Now the Scarlet Hawks seems like they've really dominated in the midfield. Now an opportunity for the Hawks. Nice defense right there from the Cougars. As a couple whistles are blown from the on-field officials. Allows the Cougars to get set up defensively. Stoppage in play allows Cougars to catch their breath. Looks like we're going to get a corner kick right here from the Scarlet Hawks, their third corner kick of the afternoon. Nice play right there from Schultz as he comes out of goal and knocks the ball away. Nice high IQ play by the sophomore. This is what Coach Callahan is trying to do, trying to get more minutes to Schultz because he's definitely going to be the guy for this team going into his junior season next year, trying to get him as much experience as they can. And now Lechuga, nice dribbling from the graduate student. He gets it to Velazquez, who finds Perez on the far side. Now back to Velazquez. He will boot it deep to try and find Smariglio. Now back to Lekowitz. Lekowitz with the attempt, but the save from Brajkovic. I believe that is Brajkovic's first save on the afternoon. Each goalie with one save apiece. So it's been primarily a defensive game, as we might expect it would have been. Right now, IIT ranked 9th in the NAC with goals scored with 16. Rank 8th in the NAC in total shots. On the other hand, the Cougars ranked 9th in the NAC in shots, as well as 10th in the NAC in goals by period. So both of these teams are more so defensive teams. Offense has been more or less a weakness from both sides, as Lechuga analyzing his pass options. Tries to get it to Pointer. And a clear out right there from the Scarlet Hawks. Velasquez tries to race to it. Nice header right there from Joseph Perez. Really have to differentiate the two. Got Joseph Perez and Evan Perez. Both are brothers. Both in the starting lineup for the Cougars. Now Evan Perez. Finds Lechuga on the near side of the pitch. Tries to boot it deep. Trying to find Lekowitz. And now the Hawks working with it. They're back on offense. Possession has been pretty fairly distributed between both sides. No team's really dominated on possession. It's been pretty even, I would say, as Pointer has that one poked away, but he's able to regain control. Gets it to Velasquez, who finds Lechuga once again. Now Lechuga finds Evan Perez on the opposite side of the pitch. Trying to get it to Yanez. Pass attempt was unsuccessful, as now Scarlet Hawks going back on offense. It looks like we have a Cougar down on the far side of the field. Not exactly able to tell who that might be. Looks like we're going to get the CUC training staff to come over, check up on him. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. We're tied at 0-0 with under 15 minutes to play in the half. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. We're back on the Cougar Sports Network. That Cougar player helped off the field by the training staff. I believe that was Brandon Arias, as he's now getting checked out over by the athletic training table. So we mentioned Cougar depth has been a little bit of a concern, and the Cougars really can't afford to have too many injuries. And Arias, a little bit of a bigger loss, as he's been one of the starters that's been heavily relied upon here in the season. Oh, and that shot attempt from Lechuga looked like it might have had a chance. But just bounces right past the goal, and you see the body language of Lechuga, he thought that was going in for sure as well. That would have been his first goal of the season. But now the Scarlet Hawks going back on offense. As Velasquez knocks over Zachary. Now a free kick from the Scarlet Hawks. Ball last touched by Evan Perez. So IIT will stay on offense. And now IIT working with it. That's Malawat. Nice defense right there from Lechuga. Playing a heck of a game so far in the opening half. And now the fourth corner kick of the game so far for the Scarlet Hawks. Nice defense right there from CUC. And it looks like things are getting a little chippy on the field. Schultz is down on the pitch. On-field officials having to break it up. Schultz hit the pitch, and Cougar players, seems like they pounced on top of a pack of Scarlet Hawks. We'll go ahead and take another break here in the broadcast. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network after a interesting sequence of events. Post-scuffle, 2 yellow cards were assessed for the Scarlet Hawks. A yellow card was given to number 27, Matthew Wareham. And for the Cougars, another yellow card awarded to number 20, Joseph Perez, for unsporting. Good to see Kyle Schultz is still out on the pitch. He's still in goal for the Cougars, a good sign. He's down on the turf for quite a while, but was helped back onto his feet. I don't know if maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him, but good to see him back up on his feet and moving around. So now the Scarlet Hawks are working down the far sideline. Cougars take it right back as Perez with excellent defensive play. Santiago passes it to Lechuga. Now that back line of the Scarlet Hawks looking for an outlet. And a deep kick, and Schultz will go ahead and stop the ball as he is looking for his options. Allows the Cougars to kind of get reset on the offensive end. Tries to get the pass to Smeriglio, who's trying to track it down. Cougars looks like they will stay on offense as a free kick right here from Giovanni Velasquez. Velasquez will send that one deep, looking for, I believe that was Berto Romero. The whistles blow, and a free kick right here from Brajkovic. Brajkovic boots that one into the midfield. Cougars are able to take that one away quickly. Ball back in the hands of Schultz. Schultz tries to get it to Velasquez. Nice defense right there from the Scarlet Hawks and number 24, Paul Bailea. And we're now under the 10-minute mark here in the first half. 9 minutes and some change remaining. And now Perez tripped up in midair. It's been a pretty tough game. Both sides playing pretty aggressive throughout the going of the first half. Pointer tries to intercept that pass. Not able to get to it in time. And now Yanez tries to get it to, looks like Perez over on the far side of the pitch. Trying to keep it away from the Scarlet Hawk defender, but not able to. And now the Scarlet Hawks racing down the far sideline. Schultz is out of goal and diving stop. Nice play by Schultz. You love to see make that play after being down on the turf for a few minutes. It's definitely a gutsy performance so far in the half from Schultz. And now Perez, Evan Perez, working with it. He tries to get it to Pointer, standing in that final third. Now Elias de Santiago tracks it down. It just sends it out of bounds. On-field officials blow the whistle before we get a throw-in from the Scarlet Hawks. Looks like we'll get a couple of substitutions. Looks like number 12, Maciek Matuziak, will enter the game, as well as it's like Brennan Paradiso. So more substitutions from the Scarlet Hawks. And a goal kick from Schultz. Looks like that one might have gotten away from him as he tried to get it to Smeriglio. Now Paradiso working in the midfield. Scarlet Hawks with an opportunity. You can really tell Schultz is just laying it all out on the line as trying to attempt a diving save right there. So now Schultz will conduct the free kick. Boots that one, trying to find Smeriglio once again. It's over his head and out of bounds, so possession will go right back to IIT. As we're approaching the 5-minute mark left in the first half. Still scoreless here in today's match in River Forest. Lekowitz playing pretty tough defense. That deflects off of his knee and out of bounds. So now the Hawks deep in their own territory. Now DeSantiago kick it back to his goalie Schultz. Schultz is going to try to find Lekowitz. Right now, both sides doing a good job of just clearing it out. Clearing out the ball, and the Hawks trying to generate some offense before the half ends. As Yanez trips up Logan Garcia. And the Cougars are back on offense as Perez is dribbling. He finds his brother Joseph Perez. Whistles blow and the Scarlet Hawks going back on offense. It's time winding down in the first half. And now nice header right there from Lechuga. Paul Balea trying to get past DeSantiago. That attempt. Nice save right there from Schultz. Now Schultz will send that one up into the air. It's corralled by Lechuga. Called his name quite a bit today. Tries to find Pointer, who's not able to connect on the header. Cougars trying to push the tempo a little bit. Nice play right there from Lechuga. But that pass goes right to the Scarlet Hawks. See a bunch of bodies hit the pitch today, as that was Balea once again, who's quick to get onto his feet. 2 minutes left in the half. And we'll get a free kick from Ribolato. IIT with an opportunity. Just bounces right past the left side of the goal. Cougars catch their breath. Now another goal kick from Schultz. Schultz is going to kick that one short to Evan Perez. Perez sends that one deep in hopes of finding Lekowitz. A header from Pointer. Heard several whistles blow today. And we'll get a free kick from Velasquez, who gets it on over to Evan Perez, who just is tripped up by the turf monster. And now Velasquez sends it back to Perez, who sends it even further back to Schultz. Schultz just kicks that one up in the air in hopes of finding Joseph Perez. 10 seconds remaining in the half. And that'll do it for the first half. We are still scoreless here in River Forest. Take a quick look at the box score. Really, neither goalie's having to do much work today, as Marco Brajkovic, only one save in his 45 minutes of play. On the other hand, Schultz, 3 saves in his 45 minutes of play as well. Scarlet Hawks have attempted 6 shots, 3 of which have been shots on goal. On the other hand, the Cougars, 4 shots, and 1 of which have been a shot on goal. So primarily a defensive game. We'll see what the game plan is for the Cougars coming out of the second half. Know that the Cougars have been able to generate some momentum in first halves this year, but second half kind of been a little bit of a different story. So the Cougars trying to flip the script here in this conference matchup. We'll be back for more second half action. You're listening to the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back for more second half action here in River Forest as halftime almost over. Parker Kelly coming to you live from the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Peter Borkowski here in the second half. Peter, we kind of talked about it. It's been primarily a defensive game. Neither goalie getting a whole lot of work today. Not a lot of offense going on. What'll be the key for the Cougars to kind of get some momentum going on the offensive end?
Well, it's all about possession, really. When you're going downfield and, you're turning the ball over within the first couple, first 10, 12, whatever seconds of your offensive possession, or you're getting a quick shot off that misses the net or ends up in a goalie save, which, Brakovic only has one save on the day, but, it's all about possession. You score goals because you're getting multiple chances in a row. Unless it's just a clean break downfield, which is rare to come by in soccer. You have to set up your offense, you have to take some time, and get multiple shots in a row. That's when you really find success. You make that goalie work, you make him get out of position, whatever it may be, but you got to spend extended periods of time down on the offensive side of the pitch. Again, if you're going down, you're coming back within a couple dozen seconds, you're not going to find offensive success that way. So, CUC, Coach Callahan, they really need to stress, hey, let's get the ball on the offensive side of the pitch. Let's calm things down. Let's get our looks. Let's get a couple looks in a row, a couple shots off, even if they're not on goal. And let's make this IIT defense work because they're not working a lot, which means they're fresh, which means they're going to make those plays more often.
And they definitely have some more depth. If you're looking on the two benches, IIT with a considerable amount more depth than the Cougars, but just looking at the box score, only 4 shot attempts from the Cougars in that first half. That number is going to have to go up. Scarlet Hawks only with 6 as well, so not really a whole lot of shots on either side. A quick shot from the Scarlet Hawks, and they're on the board first.
Well, it's exactly as I was talking about, staying up offensive possession. The Scarlet Hawks say no to that. They just come downfield, get a quick shot off. That's just a defensive breakdown on the Cougars. They weren't ready to come out playing the second half, and because of it, they trail 1-0 now, and now you're kind of in a tough spot. Yeah, you got 1:43 left to go in the half, in regulation, I should say. Though I should say in the game. There is no overtime in soccer anymore, and at least this level of play. But, you need those offensive possessions, but now you feel that pressure of, hey, we're down by 1. We got to score a goal in the next 44 minutes. A little over 44 minutes, I should say. So pressure's on, but, yeah, shout out to the Scarlet Hawks and their coaching staff. They came out. They immediately charged down the field. They crashed the goal, and they got rewarded with it, with a goal.
Right out of the gates, and this has been a point of emphasis, especially on the broadcast. The Cougars are able to play pretty solid in the first half. The second half has kind of been a different story, and when you allow a goal that quickly, it's definitely a killer in momentum.
Yeah, just that second half, because you're working with such a limited bench, like this Cougars team is, those smaller numbers. Soccer is one of the most physically exerting games out there just because of how much up and down there is up and down the full field. So it's no surprise a team with a shorter bench maybe struggles a little in that second half. And, again, that's where that possession is key. Give your legs down on the defensive side a break. Give your goalie Kyle Schultz a break, too. He's been doing a lot of play, and who knows where he's at physically right now after he went down with that injury in the first half. So let him catch his breath a little more often, shake off whatever he's still dealing with. And you just got to stop those fast breaks, too, for the Cougars' defense. This IIT team, they came here to run, and that's a big reason they scored that first goal was just their speed.
And that last goal from the Scarlet Hawks comes off of the foot of Adam Lazarkowicz, his first goal of the season. And just taking a look at the two benches, the Cougars only have 3 players on the bench. So it's kind of been a reason why they've been struggling in second halves this year. It looks like Julian Yanez kind of bent over with his hand on his eye. It looks like he might have got poked in the eye by number 8, Adam Lazarkowicz, who just scored the goal not too long ago.
Yeah, injuries, big concern for the CUC team just because they don't have many people to spare. Maybe if you were a bit deeper on the bench, you'd consider bringing Schultz out a little bit after he went down with that injury in the first half, give him a chance to catch his breath, even if he's going to go back in the second half. Just, hey, you got knocked down, you got the wind knocked out of you, whatever it may be, catch your breath. But because of that shorter bench, Schultz has to stay in, and you see that with a lot of players on CUC. If they get beat up a little, they don't have that luxury of take a couple minutes off while someone come in. If you're beat up, you got to get right back in immediately.
Cougars don't have a lot of options at goal at this stage because the other goalie, Joseph Perez, is actually playing in the field today's game. He made his debut in the field last Saturday at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Schultz making his second start of the season, second start of his career as well, as the Scarlet Hawks trying to get some momentum going right down the field. It came out of the gates hot here in the second half. Really caught the Cougars off guard.
Yeah, Schultz had a career day at WLC, 10 save. That's the most he's ever recorded in a single game, so he's getting rewarded with the second straight start. And, he's looked good at it today so far, only allowing the one goal, which was more of a defensive lapse than anything Schultz had to do about it. And he's been making plays in and out of the goal even after taking a little bit of a beating in that first half due to the injury. So Schultz is doing exactly what Coach Callahan wants him to do. He's playing well in goal for a sophomore, for any player, really. It doesn't have to do anything with how young he is still. Now it's time for the rest of this team to kind of pick up their keeper.
Yeah, Schultz really getting a bulk of the load management at this point in the season. He's going to be the guy next year. And you mentioned that career high for him in saves at WLC, 10 saves. He's been doing some great work in goalie, and goalie not really been the issue for the Cougars team. It's been more so that back line. We see that lapse in judgment that led to the first goal by the Scarlet Hawks. Now we'll get a corner kick from IIT. I believe that is number 10, Anthony Peyote. Hands raised in the air. Peyote sends it. An opportunity right here for the Scarlet Hawks. Good defense right there from Lechuga as he gets the header. He's played a pretty solid game today. Probably he's gone unnoticed, but he's really leaving his heart out on the pitch today.
Yeah, Lechuga, one of the more experienced players out there, considering this is his 6th year as an athlete at CUC, being a grad student. And he looks like he's one of the youngest athletes out there just because of how fast he's been. He's been all over the pitch. And like you said, Parker, maybe a little unnoticed because nothing he's done has showed up on the stat sheet yet. But making defensive plays. He had a really close shot that could have been the first goal of the game in the first half. And, that's what you want out of your older, more experienced players is just when the going gets tough, they're going to step up. They're going to give everything they got to get the rest of the team going.
One of the unsung heroes of today's matchup versus IIT for sure. As that ball will travel out of bounds. Possession will go right back to the Cougars as we get a throw in from Smeriglio. Tries to get it to Lekowitz. Lekowitz was backing down a defender, but now IIT will retake possession.
IIT's just been so good at getting everywhere on the field. Again, that speed really making its presence felt. It's very, not so often you'll see a Cougars get a clean throw-in, kick, whatever it may be.
As that ball will travel into the net for the second goal of the afternoon.
Yeah, ball sent towards the front of the net, and can't really exactly tell. There was a red and white jersey right in the vicinity of where it was sent, and it took a bad bounce off, either a bad bounce off for a Cougars foot or a really nice tip by the Scarlet Hawk player in the vicinity. And because of it, IIT up by 2 now, and it's kind of crunch time for the CUC offense, struggling to get anything going today.
It's kind of hard to tell from our spot up here in the booth, but the goal was scored by Adam Lazarkowicz, his second goal of the afternoon. Both of them have came here in the early minutes of the second half. The assist from Anthony Peyote. The Hawks just rolling here in River Forest in the second half.
You know, this has been a really nice adjustment from head coach of the Scarlet Hawks, Mark Colwell. You know, this team had troubles in the first half getting offense going, so he changes things up here a little in the second half, and really all they're doing is they're sending the ball towards the goal, towards the middle of the goal, and just crashing the goal and hoping somebody gets a piece of it, someone gets a kick off, whatever it may be. You know, when the pretty things aren't working, then you have to turn towards that kind of dirty offense of just hoping you get a piece of it in front of the goal. Just send it there, hope someone does something, and because of it, IIT, they got a pair of goals here in the second half after being shut out in the first.
As that pass out of bounds, if you notice, Brandon Arias back out on the pitch for the Cougars. He went out in the first half with an injury. He was getting checked out over there on the table. A good sign for the Cougars to see him back out on the turf. Nice save right there from Schultz, who came out of goal to make the grab. His fourth save of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a nice grab by Schultz. Even if it wasn't going to go in, it was kind of a weird angle. But just come out, steal that ball, steal that possession, and get your team going the other way.
And now we'll get a throw in right here from the Hawks, and number 3, Logan Garcia. Called his name quite a bit today. Wasn't in the starting lineup for the Hawks, but has definitely made his presence felt here on the pitch. Nice header right there from DeSantiago. And now Hawks had an opportunity. Good defense once again from DeSantiago.
They're going to get another opportunity on the corner kick.
Hawks now with 5 corner kicks on the afternoon. Excuse me, 6. Cougars have only had 1, so Hawks is definitely dominating in that category. An opportunity right here. Nice defense once again from Lechuga. Now Lekowitz tries to track it down for the Cougars. He does. Tries to get it off to Velasquez, but a header from Alex Malawat.
So, that's a nice play by Lekowitz. That ball was rolling out. Last touch, I believe, was CUC, and he's able to save it, kick it back in, eventually leads to it, getting kicked out by IIT, just like it was there again. So Lekowitz, some nice play defensively.
And a throw-in from Evan Perez gets it into Velasquez, who finds Lechuga on the far side of the pitch. Lechuga has a lot of green grass in front of him. He's met by a couple Scarlet Hawks, but kicks it back to Velasquez. And now Perez trying to analyze his options. He just misses his brother Joseph Perez, who's standing there waiting. That pass will travel out of bounds, and now IIT goes back on offense. Working with it in the midfield. Perez trying to get the ball right back for the Cougars, who desperately needs something on offense. Good defense from DeSantiago, able to clear it out, trying to find Smariglio. Great defense from Perez. As that pass to Arias just misses. Rolls out of bounds. We'll get a throw in from Matthew Watson. Sophomore midfielder from Plainfield, Illinois. And now Schultz just will clear that one out over the head of Arias. Another throw in from Watson. Now Garcia, that one I believe was deflected off of a Cougar. CUC go back on offense. Velasquez tries to find Pointer, who has been fairly quiet today. We mentioned him earlier in the broadcast. One of the leading offensive players for the Cougars, second in the NAC in shot attempts with 29, first in the NAC with shots on goal with 21. But it seems like every time he gets the ball, he's double-teamed or even triple-teamed. They know how dangerous he is offensively.
Yeah, and that's going to be part of Coach Callahan's job moving forward as we head deeper and deeper into conference play is who's that second option to Pointer? Who's that third option? I mean, Pointer is your guy, as you said, Parker, on the offense just from his pure shot numbers, and, yeah, he leads the team in goals as well. But, you know, when you have one guy like that who dominates, it's not hard for defenses to double team and triple team and whatever it may be whenever he gets the ball. So you got to have that second guy. You got to have that third guy who can, you know, take the load off Pointer, you know, earn some of the defensive pressure so Pointer has more space to do what he does. It's really about sharing the rock, sharing the love a little offensively. If Coach Callahan can figure that out as we head over these next couple games, this offense is going to look dramatically improved as the season goes on. But right now he's got about 32, just under 32 minutes to figure it out in this game.
And the next leading shot taker is De Santiago with 11, so 18 less than Pointer. And the second leading shot on goal taker, Brandon Arias, with 6. And that's 15 less than what Pointer has. So excellent point. Coach Callahan and the Cougars needing to find out who that second and third option is and maybe kind of come up with some schemes offensively to get Pointer in more favorable situations. So we have a Scarlet Hawk down on the pitch. Believe that was Anthony Peyote.
It looks like he got kicked on that last move by a Cougar. You can see it kind of hit something on him. He's holding his knee. Looks like it's holding his right ankle.
Still sitting down on the turf. A couple members of the training staff will come over to make sure he's all right. Trying to walk a little bit, but got back down to, looks like he is grabbing that right ankle. He's a little gimpy walking off the field, and we'll get a substitution for Peyote.
Well, you know, Parker, I don't know if my eyes deceive me or not. I believe that is President Dr. Russell Dawn sitting on the CUC bench. Next time we pan across that he's in the gold shirt with a gray jacket on. It's nice to see the president of CUC coming out to support the athletics.
I believe you're right.
Who even knows, maybe grab him a jersey, some cleats, see what he can do on the field.
The Cougars could definitely use some more depth, so maybe not a bad option. We'll get a free kick from the Scarlet Hawks. Nice defensive play as that was just kicked right into the Cougar wall. That shot attempt was from, that kick was conducted by Lazarkowitz, who has the 2 goals for the Scarlet Hawks in today's matchup. That ball will travel way out of bounds. Cougars going back on offense. So now, looks like we'll get a goal kick from Schultz. And Schultz sends that one deep, looking for Yanez, who gets the header. And now Perez, that last touched by Christian Garcia, who was the substitution for Anthony Peyote, who went out with that ankle injury. Garcia pretty easily spottable. Looks like he might be one of the only players on the field with blonde hair. An opportunity right there from the Scarlet Hawks is squandered as Lechuga raced from behind, was able to take the ball away. Another impressive play from Lechuga.
Yeah, great defensive read by Lechuga. He sees the pile of bodies kind of moving towards the net, and so he just comes flying in, able to kick that ball out. Just good drive, good speed to get there in time.
Just can't speak to the level of Lechuga's play. Not a lot from him in regards to the stat sheet, but just kind of just really making the effort plays, and that's what you like to see if you're Coach Callahan. And looks like the Scarlet Hawks are going to remain on offense. A throw in from Matthew Watson. He tries to get it to his teammate Devin Zachary. And now the Hawks working with it in Cougar territory. Able to get past a couple defenders was Lazundia. Cougars were able to get a clear out, but the Hawks will remain on offense, trying to make something happen, but good defense right there from Pointer. Now Giannis trying to come up to intercept the pass. Arias is able to successfully do so. That kick deflected off the knee of Balea. Now Lekowitz working with it on the near side. Gets it to Pointer. Now back to Lekowitz trying to find Arias. Cougars with a little bit of momentum here on this possession. I believe it was last touched by Arias, so now the Scarlet Hawks going to go back on offense.
Now it's all about that ride, about that that play when you're on defense in the other team's offensive zone, just being able to keep the ball on their side of the pitch. That'll give your offense a chance to settle things down.
And the shot attempt from Pointer goes straight into the hands of Marko Brajkovic, he records his second save of the afternoon. He's not having to do a whole lot, as I believe that was the Cougars' second shot that was on target here in this match.
Yeah, and that's part of what the pressure can bring is you make that goalie work, you tire him out a little bit so he can't make some of those saves just because he's a little tired trying to catch his breath. So the offense, even if it's just him running out of the goal to pick up a ball in the box, whatever it may be, we see Schultz having to do that a lot on the Cougars' end defensively. So they can make IITs do that, wear him out a little bit, and those shots that are harder to get to, he's not going to be able to get to them just because he doesn't have as much energy. But right now, Park, you got to imagine he's pretty well rested in that goal without all the workload he's had.
Oh, yeah, not having to do much at all on the defensive end. Basically just been kind of sitting back there all afternoon. Cougars have had a couple chances on the offensive end, but not able to generate much. Second half been a bit of a struggle for the Cougars as they find themselves down 2-0, trying to dig themselves out of the hole. Now De Santiago flips it on over to Perez. Perez working with it in the midfield, tries to get it to Lechuga. And now Lechuga tries to get it to Smariglio, but pass is intercepted by the Hawks. Now racing down the field is Garcia. But that ball will go out of bounds. Cougars will go right back on offense. I had a couple whistles blown. I believe we're going to get a substitution for the Hawks. Into the game comes, I believe that is number 6, Devin Zachary. Excuse me, no, that's number 9, Mateo Sanchez, who was a starter for the Scarlet Hawks in this game. And out of the match goes number 24, Paul Balea. Now we'll get a goal kick from Schultz. going to go out of bounds. We'll get a throw in from Velasquez. Lekowitz trying to pin the defender. Now Velasquez was working with it. Perez trying to dribble out of trouble. He had 2 Scarlet Hawks on his back. DeSantiago gets it to Lechuga. Lechuga sends it deep looking for Arias. There's no chance as there were 3 Scarlet Hawks in the area. Now Perez back down deep. Tries to get it to Velasquez again. Now we'll get a throw in from Lekowitz, who gets it into Pointer. And Arias. That goal is good! Over the outstretched arms of the IIT goalie Marko Brajkovic, and the Cougars are on the board.
Just beautiful ball movement from CUC. Pointer taking the throw in, sends it to the mid-pitch, and that would have been a good area to shoot, but instead he decides, the man in the mid-pitch, decides to just send it one more time to Arias, and I mean, that's just a great way to read the defense. They collapsed on the assist man. It's kind of like when you have the defense collapse into you in basketball, you pitch it out to the corner for a 3. He did that same thing. He sent it one more time to Arias. No one was there to recover defensively, so all Arias had to do was place his shot, and man, that was a beautifully placed shot in the top left corner.
That's the first goal of the season for Brandon Arias, and really unselfish ball right there from Joseph Perez. The crowd was wanting him to shoot it. Instead, he gets it to Arias, who connects on that beautiful shot. Like we talked about, and the Cougars find themselves down 1, 23 minutes and some change remaining in the final half.
Yeah, that's just high IQ there from Perez. I mean, as we mentioned, he's a goalie. Usually this is only his, second time playing in the field. But that's just IQ there. He knew that, hey, the defense is going to collapse into me. Let me send this one more time over. And because of it, Cougars cut this lead in half, and now they got a little under and just about half of this second half left to find that equalizer and hopefully come out of this one with at least a tie again. And new rule, once the game ends after the second half, that is the final score, no overtime. So CUC, they need one more to come out of this with a tie, and their defense needs to hold strong.
And now Pointer with a potential chance. That's squandered by the Hawks. The Cougars are still very much in this as momentum is on their side. And you mentioned Perez. He's just been a great utility player for the Cougars. We've seen him in goals, seen him on the field, making his second straight start in the field for the Cougars. Now we'll get a corner kick from Arias. The second corner kick attempt for the Cougars in this game. A header from Yanez is saved by Brajkovic. However, get another corner kick right here from the Cougars, it looks like.
Offense starting to pick it up a little bit, and they're doing that by just sending things towards the net. And like I said, it worked for the Scarlet Hawks. You hope you get a piece of something when it's near the net. So you see they're sending it, just hoping something bounces the right way.
And now Arias tries to get it back to Velasquez. They're in IIT territory. A goal right here would be huge as far as momentum is concerned. That ball is going to travel out of bounds as it looked like it went over the net. Cougars looks like they will stay on offense.
Gonna get a free kick. Velasquez went down.
Free kick right here from Velasquez. The foul on IIT's Mateo Sanchez resulted in the free kick. And now Arias with his second goal, and the Cougars tie it up. Brandon Arias, goal number 2 of the season for him.
I think CUC starting to find that second option. I mean, we mentioned it, Arias was second on the team on shots on goal, and now he's starting to convert on them. But I mean, I love the willingness from him to just shoot. I mean, obviously you want the best look you can get, but sometimes you just got to put it towards the net. And Arias did that. He said, I'm just going to take a shot. We'll see what happens. And they've been nice shots as well. He's been finding that corner to beat the goalie. But, yeah, Brennan Arias stepping up when his team needs it most. And now CUC quickly erasing that 2-goal. Brennan Arias, I should say, erasing that 2-goal deficit. They're just one away now from possibly getting their first win of the year. 1 goal away in about 20 minutes.
And Peter, I believe we were just talking about that. The Cougars finding that second option to Pointer. Brandon Arias is really filling that role for the Cougars here in the second half. The assist was given to Garrett Pointer and Giovanni Velasquez. And just like that, we are tied up in River Forest.
And he's just setting himself up about middle pitch in terms of sideline to sideline in the Scarlet Hawks third, and just kind of patiently waiting for that ball to get to him. That's how he scored that second goal. He was the right place, right time. All he had to do was put a good shot on net, and he did that. And that first goal, I mean, he was just about the same spot, a little bit more towards the far sideline, and got a great pass from Joseph Perez and able to pot that one as well. And yeah, CUC playing with a little bit more energy now. They know what's at stake here. They desperately want and need that first conference win if they don't want this record to get out of hand too quickly. And they got a good opportunity here with some momentum.
And for those of you that are listening back at home, this is a very different Cougars team than what we've seen previously in second halves this year. We've seen that in the first 8 games when the second half rolls around, this team just looks depleted. This team has come out of the gates, found themselves down 2-0 in the early going of the second half, and now they tied it up thanks to Brandon Arias. And this team is very well energized. Momentum is definitely on CUC's side.
I know it's easier said than done, but when that second half hits, when you guys start to get drained out there a little bit, you just got to find that second gear. I mean, that's what all the great athletes do is when that tank is empty, they push themselves a little bit more. I think there's a saying or something out there of when you think you're done, you're really only about 50-60% of the way there. So you just have to find that second gear in your mind to, switch on. And CUC's done a great job of doing that in this, last quarter of the game. They just got to keep it up and hopefully get one more in about 18 minutes.
So what we've seen was we saw a defensive game in the first half. Now the script is completely flipped. This is an offensive game as 4 combined goals scored here in the final half of the match. That shot goes right past the net. Cougar fans held their breath for a second as it looked like it might have had a chance. And now a goal kick from Schultz.
You got to stop quick breaks like that. I mean, that'll just be heartbreaking as you get 2 tough, well-earned goals offensively, and then, you give up the lead again on just a fast break. So CUC's defense, now that they've tied it up, they don't need as much offensive pressure just yet until we get to the later stages of the game when you're looking for the winner. They can pull back a little bit on defense, prevent any of those fast breaks from ruining the day here.
Now a throw in from Velasquez. Got the assist on that last Arias goal, him and Pointer. And now Schultz will just clear that one out. Able to get a foot on it. Number 16, Telmo Lazundia. Schultz will just get it to Smoriglio. And that nice play right there from Lechuga. A couple nice sliding tackles from him. Playing very well on the defensive end. It's been a really exciting game here in the second half. And now Velasquez will get it back to Evan Perez, who tries to find Pointer standing on the opposite side of the pitch. Pointer Looks like it was a deep shot attempt, and we've seen from him that he's not afraid to really take those far out shots. Look, that one looked like it might have had a chance, but it just misses that top left portion of the goal.
You know, at this point in the game, it's getting later stages. Why not just send something? I mean, Pointer, a very good shooter, might be able to curve one in there, but you're getting to the point where you can't worry about best shot possible. You just need to get shots off because you're under 15 and a half minutes away from walking out of here with a tie, which I think the Cougars would be happy with considering they were down 2-0 in the second half. But obviously you want to go for that win. You want to go for all the marbles.
As we're approaching the 15-minute mark here in the final half of play. Looks like we're going to get a corner kick from Velasquez. He'll do the honors for the Cougars. As this proves to be a golden opportunity for a CUC goal. As Yanez not able to get the header, De Santiago just kicks that one out of bounds, and IIT is going to go back on offense. We're going to get a goal kick from Brajkovic, who's having to work a little bit more in the second half. Didn't have to do necessarily too much in the first half as it was primarily a defensive game, but now with the 2 CUC goals, he's definitely having to earn it here in River Forest. As Yanez trips up number 9, Mateo Sanchez. Now a free kick from number 22, Zach Skiba. Seems that wind's starting to pick up just a tad here in River Forest. It's been cloudy conditions really all afternoon. Sun was trying to poke its head through right before the game started, but been just cloudy the rest of the time as Lekowitz sends that one out of bounds.
Gonna rule last touch Scarlet Hawks. Which means Cougars will get a chance here to head downfield, and it's gonna hit in that crunch time of it's time to get a goal here.
And the throw in from Velasquez is in. Scarlet Hawks trying to clear it out. Looks like they're able to do a good job of that as Garcia with a full head of steam. That pass intercepted by De Santiago. Cougars are really happy to have back out on the pitch after he missed last week's game against Aurora. Smariglio trying to get out of trouble. Looks like he was holding Christian Garcia. The two players fighting for the ball eventually go out of bounds. And the throw in from Perez is in. As Lekowitz, he tried to get that shot off, but nice deflection from the Scarlet Hawks. Now IIT trying to march down the length of the pitch. As Perez tries to track the ball down, just not able to get to it. Now a throw-in will be conducted from number 2, Alex Malawat. And IIT working with it. Now in the middle third. Nice header from Lechuga. As Velasquez not able to get to it. Mateo Sanchez kind of threw his hands up in the air. It was wanting a call. Looks like Velasquez almost pushed off of him.
Yeah, a little push off there from Velasquez, and he's a very physical player out there. I mean, when he's playing defense on you, he's going to make you feel it. And as long as he's not drawing cards, I mean, that's what you want out of someone who plays a lot of defense like Velasquez does. Is he's going to make those offensive players feel his presence physically, which might deter them a little bit from doing anything too fancy.
Velasquez is a player that Coach Callahan and the Cougars are really high on, as he has a lot of potential and really one of the key players on both sides of the ball. As Lechuga trying to play some defense right there. Believe the ball will go right back to the Cougars. Santiago is going to motion for Schultz to come up to conduct the free kick. Schultz approaches and boots that one, looking for Velasquez. Just goes right over his head as Lekowicz is able to track it down. Good defense from Zach Skiba, who was just right in front of him, playing really stingy defense. We're now under 10 minutes to go here in the second half.
Lekowicz trying to curve that one around him. Just couldn't get the right angle on it, so ends up sending it out, which means goal kicking. Interesting to see what these two teams kind of start pulling out of their sleeves, pulling out of their hats. We got just about less than 9 minutes to go now. 9:07 left on the clock.
It's been a really exciting second half if you're a fan. So it's interesting to see what happens here in crunch time, as 24, Paul Balea, was tripped, rolled onto the pitch. He's having a conversation with the official, not happy about what just happened.
Yeah, yellow card going to Yanez. But yeah, it's been a physical game. Saw the Schultz play where he got hit hard from behind. He ended up in the turf, and besides that, just some physical play going on, and I don't think you expect to see anything less from two conference teams trying to get a win here. Cougars looking for their first win on the season, while Scarlet Hawks looking for win number 2 in conference play, even up their record at 2-2.
Yellow card assessed to Julian Yanez for unsporting. So 2 combined wins between both of the programs we see on the pitch today. Wins have been hard to come by in general, so both teams really laying it all out on the line, as Schultz will conduct the goal kick once again. That's stopped by IIT. Number 11, I believe that is number 24, Paul Balea. And now Velasquez, he'll get tripped up now. And not happy, and a yellow card is going to be assessed to IIT. See, as Velasquez got up off the pitch, put his hands in the air, was not happy. So now we've seen a couple of yellow cards exchanged here in just the last couple of minutes. That first one going to Julian Yanez. Now the second one going to a member of the Scarlet Hawks. Not exactly who it is at this point. Looks like it'll be awarded to Masaic Matusiak for unsporting.
And things getting a little chippier here. Less than 8 minutes to go now in play. Again, both these teams in need of a conference win.
And goalie Marko Brajkovic is able to get the stop. He'll send it deep. Smariglio, the closest player in the vicinity, who gets it to Yanez, who now sends it back out to Joseph Perez. Joseph Perez a little slow to get up back onto his feet. And now Evan Perez looks like he might have got pushed in the back as well by number 6, Devin Zachary. No call right there. And now another throw in from Velasquez. Under 7 minutes to go here in the final half. We're really getting into the more interesting point of the game as both teams are tied at 2, looking for that game-winning goal. Now Velasquez will approach and throw it in. Joseph Perez trying to get the header right there for the Cougars. And now Lekowitz. CUC crowd really into it right now. The Cougars might have had a chance right there, and Perez is going to come right back down onto the turf. Motioning for Lekowitz to kind of come over and stretch him out. Looks like he might have had a cramp. We see Lekowitz has the left leg of Perez up in the air. Looks like he might have got a Charlie horse or something of that nature.
Well, 5:51 left on the clock, so not surprising to see players cramp up a little bit, maybe start running out of juice. But well, Joseph Perez gets stretched out. Gives the rest of the team a chance to catch their breath and make one final push here, less than 6 minutes to go. Looking for that deciding goal.
And Perez is back up on his feet. You know, at this point in the game, when you've played over 84 minutes nonstop, it's pretty common to see some cramping up. These players having to get a lot of minutes due to the lack of depth on the Cougars bench. Players have to be well conditioned, that's for sure.
Perez himself at 78 minutes, so just about all of the game. We'll have to see. He's walking towards the bench, and he's just getting some water, which means he'll be back out. But got 5:51 left to give it their all, find that game-winning goal.
See what happens. Also, Perez making the transition from goalie to field. Definitely not an easy jump to make, but Perez, one of the better utility players on the field. And now an attempt from the Scarlet Hawks, and they'll take the lead 3-2 as Masaic Matuziak just pings that lower right corner of the goal to give the Scarlet Hawks the lead.
Kind of like we saw in that second goal IIT scored. It was put to the front of the net, and then their players just got in there. They crashed the net, and they just got enough on it for it to sneak past Schultz, who was coming out of the net, to be a little bit aggressive. Not too much, but definitely had some room behind him. That ball just snuck past him in the back. And, yeah, now it's really crunch time for CUC. Playing to score a goal in 6 minutes when you're tied, a lot of different mindset than playing to score a goal less than 6 minutes when you're down by 1 and you need a goal. But they got to find it somehow, or else they're going to come out of here with another loss on the year. They'd fought a 0-9 overall, 0-5 in conference play.
So the Cougars down but not out. 5 minutes to work with. The Cougars with an opportunity to potentially tie things up. And it looks like number 6, Devin Zachary, is going to go down. Not necessarily sure what's wrong with him. He also looks like he's going to get stretched out by his teammate. So a couple of cramp ups here early, or not early, definitely late in the game.
Now A couple IIT subs coming in. Coach of the Scarlet Hawks, Mark Cowell. Probably one of his last substitutions, if not his last. We'll have to see what he decides to do with 4:51 left to go on the clock. But for the IIT right now, obviously an insurance goal would be really nice, but it's all about defense, just keeping the Cougars off the board for less than 5 minutes, and they'll be walking away 2-2 in conference play.
And the substitution for Zachary is number 8, Adam Lazarkowitz, who scored 2 of the 3 goals for IIT, been very pivotal on the offensive attack for the Hawks. So now it is go time if you're the Cougars. Whistles blow. IIT going to go back on offense. Cougars need a stop.
Kind of a weird situation for the Cougars. I mean, you need to go for it on offense. You need that game-tying goal and, 4:18 on the clock. But you also need to play good defense right here and keep that score at a 1-goal deficit. So do you bring everyone forward a little bit, go more aggressive offensively, which probably is the answer when you need one this quick? Or do you play it a little safer, trying to keep this at a 1-goal deficit and hope you get a break offensively? But I think if you're Coach Callahan and Cougars, you need to go for it. You need to be aggressive because you need that goal in less than 4 minutes now.
Not a lot of time to work with if you're CUC. As IIT is doing everything they can to clear the ball out, and they do. Now Evan Perez will track it down for the Cougars. Schultz will roll it back to Perez, who's racing down the near side of the field.
Good quick turnaround from Schultz, getting that ball out quickly. Needs to get the offense moving the other way. They need all the time they can get to hopefully get a few shots off, and one of them find the back of the net.
And a chance right there as Arias, who last touched it. It would have been something if he was able to get that goal. It would have been his 3rd. Under 3 minutes to go here in the half. Cougars with an opportunity. Now Lekowitz. IIT able to corral it. Perez comes out of nowhere, kicks the ball, and knocks over Lazarkowitz while he's at it.
He's holding his right ankle. Got a piece of him in bad way. He's trying to shake it off. You see him hopping around as he's going back to the ground now.
And number 15, Michael Kachuvka. Very obvious that he's not happy. A couple of choice words of his own. Not happy with Joseph Perez. Now Kachuvka is going to slowly and gingerly make his way off the pitch. We'll get a substitution for the Scarlet Hawks. I believe that is, if I'm not mistaken, number 21. No, it's number 13, 31, Jake Skiba. Called his name a bit today. And now Lekowitz tries to get it to Pointer. Pointer tries to get past Skiba, not able to do so. Throw in to Velasquez. And now Skiba tripped up.
Less than 2 minutes. 2-minute warning's come and gone, so They really can't let the Scarlet Hawks escape the zone here, or at least get possession of it now on the offensive side. The Cougars need to get the ball back on the Scarlet Hawks' third and need to start generating some more offense. They got to hurry here. They got to go the length of the field now. It's about 90 seconds on the clock.
You have to go if you're the Cougars. Schultz is going to get it to Julian Yanez, who gets it to Lechuga on the far side, trying to get down the field. Don't really have a choice if you're the Cougars. Good defense right there from IIT, making it really hard on the Cougars to get into that final third. And now DeSantiago will boot it, looking for a pointer. Yanez tries to get it to Smariglio, but a clear out right there from the Hawks, and it's out of bounds. Less than 50 seconds remaining.
You got to start putting it on net.
Cougars just need to get a shot off.
Again, you can't worry about waiting for that perfect shot. You got to get something on there now. Even if you are 35 yards out, just put it towards net, hope another body can get there.
And Lekowitz is going to do just that, but a diving save from Brajkovic.
That should do it, really. I mean, good kick here. Send it to mid-pitch. He can waste a little more time in the box, and unless CUC gets a quick turnover and a Hail Mary shot.
Brajkovic does a great job of, on his goal kicks, getting a lot of hang time, so really wasting a lot of the clock. And that'll do it. The Cougars drop this one here in River Forest 3-2, and what proved to be an exciting second half with 2 goals from Brandon Arias. Cougars ultimately fall short, and you could just see it on their faces, their body language. They're devastated about this loss.
Yeah, one of the better games we've seen from CUC this year. I mean, when you're down by 2 goals and you're struggling to score all season like this CUC team has been, and then you are able to tie it up with 2 quick goals thanks to Brandon Arias, some pretty shots from him. And then, they still end up dropping it, unfortunately, due to a late goal from IIT. Yeah, one's going to hurt more than some other losses. So, but definitely some positives to take away. Offense definitely looked a lot better in this second half. Now it's something to build on as you move forward. CUC still going to be looking for that first win.
And we see Joseph Perez is just left speechless down on the pitch as a plethora of IIT players come over to tell him a good game. So good to see some sportsmanship here at the end of the game. But Cougars done something that we haven't seen a lot of, scoring 2 goals in the second half, but that last goal from the Scarlet Hawks, the game winner. No goals were scored after that, but just a quick recap. The Scarlet Hawks win this one 3-2. We'll go ahead and take a quick look ahead for both sides. After getting the win today, Scarlet Hawks will be back in action as they return to their home field, take on Concordia, Wisconsin on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 3:30, and for the Cougars, it's homecoming week, and they will host St. Norbert College on Sunday. It's also a 3:30 kickoff. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our team that was able to make this production possible. Chandler Kerr down on the table. Peter Borkowski, my partner, up in the booth, also producing, kind of a do-it-all, man. We're under the production of Sydney Pulaskis-Lawher and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. I am Parker Kelly signing off the Cougar Sports Network. I hope you all are going to have a great rest of your week, and just want to say, as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.